Good morning, my friends. Hope you're doing fantastic. How you doing, Quinn? How you doing, lurkers? Another Ace Attorney stream. I think. What did we do last time? We investigated. We've learned how to take fingerprints, and we've learned how to spray some luminol spray. Fantastic. And we've learned that Marshall has some bloody fingerprints where they shouldn't be. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in two different places at the same time. Oh, Lana, we haven't seen you in a while. What's up, Walker?
And the different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes.
Lana!
Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was, indisposed.
Well, I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning.
We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though.
So how'd it go?
It is as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain.
A plea bargain?
What do you mean by that?
We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma.
Lana! Don't tell me you.
Shouldn't you be, talking with me before you take any plea deals? I am your lawyer, after all.
Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are.
Miss Sky?
We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall.
What kind of trace evidence?
Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you?
In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall?
We have to play the cards we're dealt, isn't that right, Miss Sky?
Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright.
Well, if you've already entered a plea deal, then what's the point of our little courtroom here?
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is...
I'm afraid you'll have to clarify.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time.
It's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim for the evidence room just disappeared.
Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder of the police department. In so doing, I believe that the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart.
He sounds so top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself.
That's supposed to be an admirable trait. Admirable trait.
Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness on the day to the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred in the police department.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Yeah, Lana. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh. No.
No, please. I don't want to do his voice.
Will the witness please state the name and his occupation?
Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Macon, sir. My occupation's, that'd be murder, sir.
Huh? So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I've never killed anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir.
Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is...
Sir, I'm just what you call very young. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir.
Officer Meekins,
Yes, sir.
give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order.
Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir.
You can't fault him for lack of enthusiasm. Oh, fuck.
Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
You unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
What's up, Kit?
I see. Then you fainted and the colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
What I need to hear is more info to work with. I like how the judge is not, like, immediately banging his gavel for guilty. He's actually telling me, hey, yeah, go ahead. Do it. Cross-examine. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not?
Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir.
Yikes. Now that's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by Chief of Detectives, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
Why is it,
Hey, gee. Sounds like a very important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. Then I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
So that's why you went to the evidence room.
And tell us, what did you see when you got there? Well, I think it's very necessary for this character. Wouldn't you say it fit him very well, Quinn? In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct?
Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck.
So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right?
There it is! I found it! It's one right here!
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. 4989596. That's my number, sir.
I see, huh? But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice.
Dun dun dun. Please explain, witness.
No real mystery, sir.
We're gonna steal his credit card info, yes! No, you need the security code.
The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Uh-huh. So who's 77777? So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir. A knife.
Detective Goodwin pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
What if it was just like the knife in the evidence locker that he was transferring? You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's what I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand.
Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be...
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar.
I just imagine Meekins just kind of freaking out.
Why are you doing this?
And Goodman's just standing there like, get away from me! What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife?
I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
He must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew, he punched me right in my face, sir.
About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how was I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
All right.
According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. It's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before the thing got out of hand.
Well, now we can all rest easy.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim?
He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins.
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Cat delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
The chief?
Delivered it.
What is that? Videotape?
Yeah, sure, that's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. And I was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Of course, Kit. Ah, the Blue Badger did it! Wait a second. Those hands were female! Wow, look at the upgrade from 1 to 2. We actually got animation. Ow! I was told that this is the first game, but this trilogy released with a new case, which is this guy right here. Turnabout Phoenix Rising something, I don't know. But yeah, this is a brand new case. Maybe it was an old case that they re-released, but anyway, it was not initially in the first game, but they added it in The DS original. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. So they added that to the first one of, I'm playing the trilogy. So I guess they just moved it into this one.
And I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
The blue. What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Rebranding? I understand.
Ah, sir, this is the pride and the joy of the entire criminal offense. And the blue badger.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly?
Yeah, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place.
How much you want to bet it's the lunch lady that dressed up as Goodman?
Oy.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins?
Ah, yes, sir. As you wish, sir.
No, go back. I got press. Oh, wait.
The locker he opens is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker. It must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
Anyway, it's just about a fingerprint.
Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where we have to start. Okay. And tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter.
The latter, but you were standing right in front of him, were you not?
More to the point, you're the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see.
Yeah, that's a good trade for a police officer.
Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it.
But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is if you must label people as haven't seen or not seen.
And since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Well, why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stare as disturbing or...
Meekins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him.
I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do.
About these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
I wonder what kind of methods he's tried.
If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir. And this too.
There was that big rubber glove. I wonder if they magically put on the Goodman's fingertips on that glove. Or maybe they took the fingers. That'd be kind of dark if they just took his fingers and used it. How do you know that information?
I heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir.
People in the know.
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir, they keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir.
For the record, the opened locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
It must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face.
Sir, if I may say something, sir.
Yeah, please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this.
Yeah, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless the defense can find a problem with this.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record. Is there a problem with the security tape? There is a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
He would want me to point it out.
Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. And just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing.
Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video.
How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the may not be Goodman?
Oh, jeez. Oh, it's just gonna keep playing the song. Wait a second. The locker's already lit up. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins.
Sir, he means me, sir.
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint if it's a match. The light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind it to a little earlier. Here, notice the light?
Hey, what's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
Ah! Order, what's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
But the locker's locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked.
I know. He must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
What's up, human?
Yeah, well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yeah, why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Uh-oh.
Maybe something like jam the system sensor. Something jam the sensor. Oh, probably that glove that fell out. Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Hey, well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright. Please point out the cause of this.
Right there! Boom. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Oh, no more music, thank you. Whoop! There it goes.
Hey, what's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
Ah, but sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open one.
We can't be sure. That item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? What's up, Marvy?
Hey, inserted? Oh no. Something was inserted in this. Yup, there it goes. Fell out.
This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir.
Hey, but the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Oh yeah, an insulator. With the crime scene.
There just might have been something that fits the description.
But sir, by insulator, you don't mean...
I think I finally got this figured out. It was Vor Day.
Hey, very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was the insulator that was stuck at the door?
I know because Moon told me. Because she was like,
Hey, Apple, did you know 4 days before your birthday?
I'm like, no.
Well, guess what it is?
Oh, okay. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove.
Yeah, but we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident.
Huh?
The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this.
Yeah. It's my birthday.
On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
I would prepare so, sir.
Harder! Hey! So we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more.
Thank you.
The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What? Edgeworth, what are you doing?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
What? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir.
I am.
I am an old man. This is actually my real voice right here.
Oh, you mean that, sir? Oh, of course, sir.
Oh, thank you, Wolf, for the sippies.
Finally. Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
I'm so thirsty.
There's not one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it.
Yeah, but we found the ID card in the garage.
At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
An ID card record, I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor.
Who's 777777?
The ID used at 514 is that of the victim.
Yeah, but then he also came back in again.
Just before the crime, yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due to transferal. Why were there so few people using the room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases.
Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Why is Gumshoe using it as a personal locker? Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference.
There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon.
All right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination.
Hold it.
So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be a rock solid, do you?
Oh, yes, sir. Solid as a stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir.
Couldn't he just use his right hand for that?
Yeah, let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second.
Is that card hanging from your neck on one of these ID cards?
Oh, yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it.
But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out of the open like that?
Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me.
Maybe I should just leave this one alone.
At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
Please proceed with your testimony.
Well, wait a second. So then, what? Whoa. Wait a second. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
Ah, good waiting.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
No. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
The lost item report is only half complete.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right?
I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo.
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this.
What's up, man?
First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
Well, I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to your pointing your fingers around.
This is not gonna end well.
Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in the video is a fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment that the defendant used the murder weapon.
What if that picture was taken at the police department, but then it was said it was taken at the underground lot? Yeah, trustworthy? Really? I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Oh, yes, just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana. What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this? Object! One moment, Your Honor.
What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Yeah, just like However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder at the parking lot. Whoop. Specifically, a large amount of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, Your Honor.
if this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean? Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall.
Why him?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees to the defense request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
Oh my god, it just keeps going. What's up, Lana?
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured out everything.
I haven't figured out anything.
Lana, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma,
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Excuse me. Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How could you be so cold?
Don't you trust us?
Don't you trust me?
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later.
Oh, no, Gumshoe, come back! Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
Oh, sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! Hey, I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
Oh, that's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Never in a million years would, I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me some SL9 incidents files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright here needed them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor. We're a witness in this case.
Miss Sky was a witness. Files for the Joe Dark killings solved 2 years ago. Joe Darke.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murderers. Yo, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma, but why? Why is your name here? What? My name's in there. I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be Lana. This SL9 incident is that...
That's the classification number the police filed in under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark. No. No, Lana! That's over with. No! Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here too. Oh God, what are you doing, chat?
Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence.
Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck.
I better take a good look at this file.
Rise from the ashes. Oh, right back into it. Let's do it, baby.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Emma didn't come back.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding... The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Look, it's Marvy drinking.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Me, partner? I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trials of civilization.
Ah, we live in a society.
Occasionally helping the elderly cross the intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
All right, now you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out.
To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct?
According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Yo, dude, Moon, have you seen the pigeon, turkey, pheasant from Bear and Breakfast? He's like Edgeworth in bird form.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Mm-hmm. Here, I'll show you. I'll pull it up. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Bear and Breakfast. Getting a little... Oh, there he is. He sells you stuff at outrageous prices. Oh, and I got my bear a nice little suit. There we go. There's a good picture of him. His name's Ipswich. There you go. Bird. Oh!
He's in a little tuxedo.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchid. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway.
Ah, so you didn't do your job.
If I remember correct, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail.
So you're an alcoholic.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I'm in the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines or with following orders.
Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. All right, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
So he says he was at the saloon. No. Hey, no. No, you weren't. What do you think of this? Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd that is you being called in to testify like this?
Got him.
After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, once my rounds, about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
No, I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
What's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away, however, a luminal test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints?
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Please explain why your fingerprints were there covered in blood.
It wasn't me. I didn't do nothing.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the witness's explanation appears valid.
No, it doesn't. None of this is valid.
Oh, no, there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. Yeah, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
He's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Let's give him some presses. Press him hard. That's because you... How did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happened to be mine. What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Wait a second, how does he know he was wearing gloves? So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine, it's no mystery.
Please explain.
In the videotape, they weren't wearing gloves. My locker's covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. This one right here. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports.
There was a blood stain at the scene, though to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
So then wouldn't that mean the fingerprint would be wiped away?
That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
Security tape.
So long as my trial isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. My trail. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Alright, take care, human. What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to the crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind patch!
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have enough time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Yeah. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Alright, so let's...
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness.
Alright, so hang on. So, that's his locker right here. From what we saw, there was a piece of cloth there, so I'm assuming that cloth is going to show up sometime. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Last time, come on, baby. Boom! Right there. Gotcha! Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers.
Got him!
Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Edgeworth! Or Phoenix! You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Whoop.
Oh, the white cloth is gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
Your fingerprint opens it.
Murderer needs to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker? Now prove it. A fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Get that jerky. Oh, he's foreign.
I only got 1 word for you, partner. No!
No!
Order! Order! Witness, explain yourself.
I wonder if that no had 8 letters.
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Oh, this jerky. Olay! Please answer the question.
Olay? What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we could figure the rest out from here.
We can.
Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it.
Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Right there. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
It wasn't Detective Goodman. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman.
But that's preposterous! Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his ID card.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond?
He suddenly pulled a knife on me.
Something about that officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yeah, she would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence?
He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Bullshit! I'm in it right now.
This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one, but what can I do?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
Huh.
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was open in the first place?
Oh, yo. I know what it is. His fucking bloody coat. He threw that in his locker.
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
Because that's Goodman's white trench coat. Because it was covered in blood!
The fact that the white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
Can we see it? Like, you know, that'd be pretty good to be like, hey, we need to see what's in there.
Hey, so what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us where the witness had to open his locker. Why?
I bet it's because he had blood all over it.
Hey, who are you?
Get the fuck back, partner.
Right there.
Right there. Oh, go back.
I thought it was weird that it was like clearly in view right here. Boom. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
Bloody white coat!
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, wouldn't we?
Officer Marshall, tell us the court what you did. All of it.
All right. Seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So I suppose the victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could they it be?
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Alright, time to press them hard. When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, partner?
SL9 incident.
2 years ago have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day.
Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? I wonder if it turns out like Officer Goodman was actually Officer Badman and he's the serial killer. And they knew about it. And they got an innocent man convicted and executed.
Oh, what a twist.
That day was my last chance, that's why. I stole the detective's ID.
He's actually a bad man.
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open the locker yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is one in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
Where did Edgeworth get so much influence?
Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one? The one I've been using? This whole time?
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, so you knocked out Officer Meekins' hand?
Phew!
Excuse me. So you did your research beforehand?
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all I had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
Sippies, thank you.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is on that day...
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on the tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker?
Actually, no, I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where's the evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Actually, that's not true! Not in this predicament! Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one's mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. Yeah, the witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved this sentence.
I remember that Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. What if I do this? This big old stack. Oh yeah, let's check it first. We haven't even checked it. Perpetrator Joe Dark, crime, serial murder, sentenced to death. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Curry, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witness Lana Skye and Emma Skye. Uh-oh. Executive investigator Damon Gant, Lana Skye. Oh. Head investigator Bruce Goodman. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr. Jabates. Neil Marshall. Is that his brother? Starr, Marshall, Goodman. Okay. Here. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in the statement, Your Honor.
Oh, wait. Wait a second.
Wait, no.
Oh, fog!
When you say it, you mean...
Do you ever have to ask, partner?
the SL9 incidents.
2 years have passed since the case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day.
Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over. Yeah, we saw this. What did I miss? This one right here. There we go. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incidents.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. In a list of murdered victims. Neil Marshall, are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall?
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
Right!
The prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award.
Now I remember, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did.
That's right, he was killed, and the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Joe Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. Oops. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions?
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with the resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Ah, Elaine. Thank you, Quinn. Bring someone before a court. Ah, now here I was thinking arrange, but it's arraign. You learned something! Oh, thank you, Moon.
Oh, you guys are so smart! And I'm so dumb!
Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes. This mystery has finally been cleared up.
No!
Oh, this is a good time to bring this up. There we go.
No!
Perfect.
No murder took place at that police department that day. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder of the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. What if, like, Goodman, like, was saying, hey, I'm the one who murdered everyone, and then Lana was just like, you fucker! And stabbed him.
Yeah, so no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime. That means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
Seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner.
All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Arg! I would have gone with objection, but, you know.
I rest my case.
Yeah, it seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
no, I worked so hard.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty!
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Hold it. Emma! Your Honor, wait!
Emma. The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Mr. Wright, I got some questions for you. What happened to the last girl you brought in here? And why do girls keep following you around?
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Oh, Edgeworth. Oh, thank you.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky's sisters were in that file.
Well, that's when I figured it out.
I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker?
Yeah, but no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional.
If anyone can save Lana, it's you!
Me?
Ah, boy. Where's Mia?
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by other blood mark.
Looking at the
Floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, I can't be of more use.
But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will.
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Yes. You don't object to yourself! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
Hey, you've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something's missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yeah, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Yeah, let us pray that the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
Yeah, the question is, which item can prove something's missing from the floor plans?
Oh, duh. The Blue Badger. It's also got a handprint on it. It's got a handprint on it! We've known from the beginning something was odd about that handprint.
What about that piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger, the mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So
watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well?
Well, what?
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot of the locker. God damn, I just powered up and everyone was surprised.
Hey, that means, what exactly does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? The blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma,
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in.
Hey, just a moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Oh, they used the blue badger to cover up the handprint. Or no, it just happened before then. And Meekins just happenstance put it there. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves it when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur?
And to summarize, the defense claims that prior to the Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room.
That's right. The blood marked on the locker proved this.
Hey, well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
the card report,
If the crime took place inside the evidence room where the killer would have entered it, and in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh! The ID card report!
Mr. 77777777. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here,
450. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 440. Ah! Oh, Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy.
Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
Nope, ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining.
Talk about a lucky number. Hey, but wait! That doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777.
That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look it up. I'm unable to look up the owner of the ID card. At least at present.
What? Explain yourself, son.
The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who was a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
But that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge?
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? All right. Let me ask a question.
Yes.
No, not you, to her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
Lana.
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Do you need the witness to repeat the question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard them fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did.
Lana.
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Hey, defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
Lana.
Even if it involved forging evidence.
You fool!
See, that's what I'm talking about.
No! No!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we have to save. Wow. And we're gonna have to go for now. So my friends, I want to thank you for joining me this morning, and I hope to see you again later tonight. So thank you everyone. Take care, stay well, and bye-bye for now.